Alright people, here is the deal. Normally I would avoid the womanly nonsense, except when it comes to repealing the 19th Amendment because, well, that's just good sense. But lately there's been an especially large avalanche, a plethora of stupid things flowing from this topic, with pieces such as this one over here. So there are two videos I want to look at in particular, starting with this one.
Do you want to know one of the saddest realizations I recently had?
That espousing your dating woes and political philosophy on an app dominated by those under 20 is kind of weird and will likely get you mercilessly ridiculed. Oh, I'm sorry, do go on.
Was that as a liberal woman, it is really hard to find a man who's willing to play the more traditional masculine role in the relationship in today's day and age, who is not a conservative.
If you're only realizing that now, it tells me you aren't the brightest bulb around.
A man who wants to pay on the first date, who wants to open your door, who has that want and desire to take care of you and to provide, who is not a conservative.
You could just tell this one is utterly baffled as to why that is.
And obviously, as a liberal woman, I do want to be respected for my independence. And I do want to have my own autonomy in the relationship and not be confined or conform to the traditional female homemaker, childbearing role. And most of the men that I've dated who do have that more natural provider masculinity about them are normally conservative. So I don't really know what to do because I don't want to compromise my morals and values just to find a man. But am I asking to have my cake and eat it too?
Yes, you are, and you're a smug prat. This woman is the epitome of the modern-day Western female, an utterly entitled, delusional bint who lives in fairy tale la la land. She even says the traditional role of taking care of women is the natural one. Geez, I wonder why it's natural and how it came to be the traditional role. Can you perhaps enlighten us, my dear, as to why and how you think that is? Of course you never will, because the only logical conclusion to such an examination would reveal her to be either full of BS or a hypocrite. Heaven's sake, men want to feel needed. If his job is to accumulate resources to take care of you, but you have your own resources to take care of yourself, why should he take care of you? You're a waste of his resources. A progressive man is not a traditionalist by the very wording. Tradition means unchanging, to pass down, hence why the conservative conserves tradition. Shocking. And then in here you come with your uppity, arrogant attitude of, oh, I want someone to take care of me and be traditional, but I am not going to be traditional in any way whatsoever. Again, this thing reeks of entitlement. You aren't mature enough to appreciate an adult relationship with a traditional man because you don't really want one. What you desire is an ATM with emotions. Man, give me 10 minutes with this woman, I'll blow her mind. Or make her cry. Or scream and hate me like a banshee. Who the hell knows? But I would love to ask her, these progressive liberal values you apparently cling to with such rigorous fervor, pray tell, where did you learn them and why do you continue to believe them? Really think about that one for a moment. Does it add anything of quantifiable, life-improving value to your own existence? What need does it fulfill? Is this for your own benefit, or do you believe it's some beneficial ideal for society? And is this ideal actually achievable, or even desirable? Let's be frank, this woman has never been asked these kind of questions in her entire adult life. Nor would she be able to answer any of this, seeing as she has all the intellectual depth as shallow as her vacuous personality. If you even tried, you'd make her melt into a sputtering mess, probably at obnoxiously loud volumes of that. Or she would turn into an emotional wreck. Either will do, take your pick. The cold hard truth is simply this. This woman, in the grand scheme of things, supports this rubbish because she is just another speck of dust in the wind, and doing so fulfills some psychological desire. It's merely to signal she is in alignment with the regime. She is of the 90%, no clue whatsoever about why she believes what she does. Never thought about it. She's a nitwit, just part of the wave of masses floating through space and time, supporting the current thing, and that's really all there is to her. Newsflash for you, honey, if the traditional conservative man has come this far conserving his tradition, and you crave that, guess who's the weird one in this equation? He's not going to change, why should he? He is what you want, so the onus is not on him to change because the unnatural thing here is you. None of this should come as a surprise, by the way. What you're witnessing is the collapse of the natural order, the one where men rule and the women are subservient. Just for some stupid political reasons, we find ourselves in this hopelessly idiotic phase fighting Mother Nature, and some of us know that's dumb and delusional and refuse to participate. And congratulations to the women who don't buy into this New Age rebellion crap. The previous order wasn't well defended for the longest time, and circumstances in society have allowed for its erosion, hence why we find ourselves in the current predicament. Now, the reason I don't bother with this kind of content is because it's really boring. See one liberal ass say something stupid and get trashed for it, seen them all, really. Nothing new or interesting is ever said, nor does it need to be said, because these creatures are cranked out by the university apparatus like they all walked off an assembly line and you're reading contradictory code. Only difference between them is their faces and reaction. You may as well be watching reality TV. So with that being said, here is where I radically depart from, I would say, almost everyone in my analysis, and will proclaim something extremely bold. I don't think feminism is the problem, because I have seen this feminism thing spiral out of freaking control for years on end now, accumulating all sorts of weird and wacky elements that make absolutely no sense, and yet it keeps moving, like a bad tornado who ran its way through a sherbet factory, which would lead me to speculate. Is the attack on it impotent, or is the attack aimed at the wrong target perhaps? I'm of the opinion the latter. I'm of the belief that feminism is a symptom, not a cause. I think our modern world's problems can be distilled down to two things. Secondarily, materialism, and primarily, lack of legacy. If a society does not value or respect the work of its ancestors, aside from wasting time suiciding itself into stupidity, it's not going to try and build something worthy of remembrance or value by their descendants. Why would they? They don't respect their ancestors, so why should they think their descendants should respect them? Pretty simple. So what does our society value in the absence of this otherwise common historical trend? Materialism. Soulless earthly decadence designed to facilitate cheap thrills, ethereal moments of pleasure, and nothing more. Live fast, die young. This is the mantra of the drug addict. Now let's look at society for a moment, shall we? If the traits that determine the top of the food chain are ones like toughness, stress resistance, ruthlessness, strong disagreement, highest levels of intelligence, well, these are all male traits, which means regardless of whatever you wish to do to level the playing field, such as it is, the upper echelon of the human species is always going to be dominated by men. Men build legacy through structure, sometimes buildings, businesses, something of value to pass off to an heir, a son, and to do that, they need a female. Women aid in building legacies through being a competent wife, a caring and dutiful mother. The qualities for that role? Honor, modesty, decency, dignity, self-respect, purity, virtue, etc., etc. Let's say we have females that have no interest in building a legacy at all. All their value is raw materialism. If you're under the impression this is the end-all and be-all of your existence, then you are going to be driven purely by whatever method can maximize resource accumulation. They're not going to go into the upper echelons where the men rule. Oh, no, they can't compete there. But what is the one arena where women can compete? Sex. OnlyFans. Destroy tradition, liberate women via the sexual revolution, and teach them they don't need a man, they can be independent. All of that stupid BS. Guess what arena isn't dominated by men? Sex. If feminism is supposed to be women are equal to men, they're supposedly smarter, and they're more than just their bodies, then why are so many women dumber and sluttier than ever before? All you've liberated them from is standards and a moral code of conduct, replacing it instead with shameless sexual degeneracy. Well done. In the current market, you've taught them to cash in on whatever is most lucrative, which in reality is not their brains, it's their youth and their bodies. In that world, the values of honor, dignity, and self-respect, those are all values for legacy building, not materialism at all cost. They hold no worth, hence why they all fall by the wayside. So it's not a surprise you see a legion of women trying to carry on like degenerate sluts. On a purely energy expenditure to reward ratio, the rewards can be insanely lucrative, hence how you end up with this thing.
I'm just curious about you being someone who embarked on a a law career, was obviously very bright, went to university, packed it in just for money to be effectively an online stripper. I mean, that's what you do, right?
Yeah. Way worse than an online stripper. But
what do you mean way worse?
Way worse. Online strippers just, naked. I do things that are way more grotesque than
Just
that.
pornography.
Pornography, anything, but it's all within what I want to do, and I absolutely love it, and I'm really good at it. I could be a good lawyer, yes, but also am I good at doing other things on video and camera?
How would you feel when you want to have kids yourself?
Well, I mean, I don't really want kids right now. But at
You
least
will do. How old are you?
25.
Right, so you will do at some stage, probably, right?
Maybe.
When you do, you're going to be proud that you have your little ones and they look at you and go, didn't you want to be a lawyer, Mummy? What happened?
Yeah.
And you go, here, but look at all my stuff.
They can cry in a Ferrari.
Case and point. That is not a human being, by the way, and it shouldn't be regarded as such. That is an object, a resource vacuum, and that's it. Nothing more. Oh, who cares if my potential future offspring will be permanently scarred by the fact that anyone with an internet connection can view my most intimate of parts in under 50 seconds? They'll have shiny things.